Dang, I gotta say, I am really excited for this Iowa versus Illinois dual meet. The Hawks have looked really, really strong so far this year, and they're the number 2 team in the country for a reason. But they're going to be taking on a very scrappy Illinois team, and there's a lot of matches here where I think the Illini have a chance of winning. Do they have a chance of winning this dual meet? Many times over the years, you're looking like, okay, who could knock off Penn State? Who could knock off Iowa? And then you can say, well, I think the team could get 5 wins in the duel this way or that way, and then it ends up being kind of a smash. But I think there are reasonable paths to victory for Illinois. You look at 125, that's a toss-up between two guys that are sort of unproven. You look at 133, you got Drake Ayala versus Lucas Bird. Bird ranked higher for the Illini, number 2 versus number 3 matchup. You go to 141. Iowa's been struggling there, and Illinois got Pusino, who's been ranked throughout his career. Illinois probably a favorite there. And then you go to some of these other ways. 157, Ja'Cory Teemer's still out. Kreiser just had a win over Patty Gallagher. They're maybe a favorite there. But then you got to get some other matchups. Can Illinois win at the heavyweight class? Luke Luffman taking on Ben Keeter. Can they get an upset victory? Bronal over Kennedy. Can Bronal at 97 stay with Stephen Buchanan? Can Edmund Ruth beat Gabe Arnold? There's reasonable matches, but the Hawks are favored, let's be clear. Now, I'm going to go through the matches here, the matches I'm most excited for. Starting at 133, this is an amazing one between Drake Ayala and Lucas Bird. And Bird he's been the word so far this year. Undefeated, wrestling really well, a really tough guy to get to. He has a win over Nasir Bailey, but that is becoming less and less of an exclusive club this year. When he beat him 1-0 at the All-Star, you're like, whoa, Lucas Bird, title contender. And he's been good since then, but Nasir's fallen off a little to that degree. Now, Drake Ayala, he hasn't had the flawless season that Lucas Bird has. He had the loss to Tyler Knox in the Stanford-Iowa duel. But since that time, he's looked really solid. He beat Frost from Iowa State and has been scoring a lot of points since. And the question here is, can Drake get to his single leg? Lucas Bird is a really good hand fighter. He can control the center of the mat. Really good out of underhooks, good upper body wrestler. Can Drake open him up enough to get to his legs? Because I think from a leg attack perspective, Drake has the better offense. But I think Lucas probably has slightly better defense, a little better scramble, maybe an advantage on the top, although I think it's probably neutral. This is a big test for both wrestlers, and in a weight class it looks more and more wide open with the injury of Ryan Crookham and just the otherwise chaos outside of this. This is a really important match. It'll have implications for seeding, have implications within Big Tens, and very likely within the NCAA tournament. So first match between these two, I'm really excited. This is the premier matchup of the Iowa-Illinois duel. I'm excited for 149. Cannon Webster, Illinois' tough freshman, taking on Kyle Parco. Now, Parco's a really big favorite here. He's been excellent. He's undefeated. He's ranked number 3. Webster is coming off a really tough weekend where he went 0-2, dropping a couple one. Typically, you see a little return to the mean and a better performance. I think Webster is going to be ready for this matchup. Parco's my pick to win it, but don't be surprised if Iowa fans are saying, dang, that Webster kid is pretty tough, because he really is the real deal. But if he can't get off the bottom, if he's getting wrist rolled, Kyle Parco could end this one. He's that good from the top position. Patrick Kennedy versus Danny Bronagel. I'm excited for this one, and though Kennedy's ranked 5th and Bronagel's ranked 19th, Bronagel has been in a lot of matches, and he's a guy who has 2 takedowns this year against Keegan O'Toole. That match keeps coming up because that is just not something you see very often. Can Bronagel get back on the right track with a win over Patrick Kennedy, who has been unreal so far this year? I mean, it's not just his hand fighting and his pressure. There's a lot of offense for Patrick Kennedy, who is in a battle to start at 174 because Iowa also has All-American Nelson Brands at this weight class. Kennedy's been the better guy this year. Nelson Brands has been out with injury. I don't know. It's possible we see Nelson Brands in this match. I don't know who Iowa is going to use. We won't know probably till that moment. But I think you favor the Iowa Hawkeye here no matter who they throw out. But I think it's a very intriguing matchup. And with the lineup battle looming, those style points, that dominance, can have a big factor in who Coach Brands ultimately uses as a starter at the Big Tens and NCAA tournament. And then at 184, another spot for the Iowa Hawkeyes that has a lot of intrigue. Gabe Arnold, but you also have Angelo Ferrari looming. And Coach Brands has said, hey, we don't have to make a decision on this at this point. And so that means this is a big opportunity potentially for Gabe Arnold. I think we do see Gabe Arnold taking on Edmund Ruth. Edmund Ruth's an All-American. He's a guy with a lot of good wins. He's beaten a Nelson Brands. He's beaten Rocco Welsh, who was in the NCAA finals last year. And for Gabe Arnold, this is a big test for him. Edmund Ruth likes to wrestle out of underhooks. He's a really strong guy. I think Edmund is going to have a really hard time opening up Gabe Arnold. I don't think he's going to have success getting to those underhooks consistently. That's my prediction against Gabe. I think Gabe is going to be able to wrestle from outside, pick his spots, score, and what I love most about Gabe's wrestling is not just his elusiveness. When he gets to the leg, his ability to lift and sky wrestlers, he has a great finishing rate. So I think Gabe Arnold is the favorite here. This is a number 5 Gabe Arnold versus number 13 Edmund Ruth. And then heavyweight, this match is not getting talked about enough. Ben Keeter versus Lucas Luffman. I think Iowa fans may be overlooking this match a little bit. And Luffman's ranked 11th, Ben Keeter's ranked 13th. But when you compare, so that's close in rankings. But when you look at the wrestlers that Lucas Luffman has beaten in his career versus Ben Keeter, it's a very slanted list. Luke Luffman has a win this year over Colton Schultz in NCAA finals and multiple All-American. He's beaten Tay Gaudiali. He's beaten Trent Hilger. He's beaten Nathan Taylor twice. He's beaten Luke Serber. So that's a lot of really good wins. And really for Ben Keeter, best win right now of his career is Connor Doucette of Oklahoma State. So this is a really tough matchup. And this is a good opportunity for Ben Keeter to get another elite win under his belt. Now, he's got elite wins in his career, but in the NCAA-wise, that has not necessarily been the case, and it's slightly a lack of opportunity. But he did drop a match to Younger Bastida. He has had some tough opponents he hasn't been able to beat yet. And I'm curious for also Ben Keeter's approach in this matchup. Is he going to go after Lucas Luffman? Because in some of his matches, it seems like he wants to keep it real tight, rely on his athleticism to keep guys off his legs, ride situationally, and see if he can get the win that way. I would like to see a Ben Keeter that opens it up, and I think that's what Iowa fans are looking for. That's something you had seen in Ben Keeter in his U20 run to a world title there, in his time as a high school wrestler. He was a dominator. He was a point scorer. Do we see him return to that form here against Lucas Luffman, who is the best competition he's faced so far this year outside of Younger Bastida? Really excited for this matchup. Excited for this dual meet. Friday is going to be incredible with Penn State taking on Nebraska, Iowa taking on Illinois. A lot of other very intriguing dual meets. And yeah, I'm not saying the Hawks are on upset alert here. Don't get me wrong. But I think they're going to be tested. This is the toughest dual meet test, maybe even tougher than Iowa State, just based on the matchups here between Illinois and Iowa. Give me your upset special. Give me the match you're most looking forward to between Illinois and Iowa.